Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm so proud y'all stopped by today. I'm going to be working on JJ again today. I had a subscriber. The subscriber's channel name is Green Sasquatch. He recommended a fix for JJ. He had a similar issue, he said, about a hard to start situation, running rough. He said it was just similar to mine. He said his ended up getting where at one point in time it would not start at all. And he replaced a part on his and it fixed his. And I've had a little issue with that same part on mine earlier in my purchase with JJ, and that very well could be the problem. And that's what we're going to be changing today, and I'll let you know what that part is here in just a minute. Alright, I got the hood open and I'm going to show you the piece that he said fixed his problem, and it's right here. It is the map sensor. I have had a little bit of an issue with this sensor before. Not really particularly because the sensor I think was bad, but the old fan shroud that I replaced was all busted up, and this did not have a mounting location on it. My power steering reservoir tilted to the back, fluid was coming out of it, and it saturated these wires right here, and man, you talking about running ragged. And got all that cleaned up, and it fixed it. It threw codes up and everything else, and that was one of the reasons I bought the fan shroud and put the reservoir back where it's supposed to go. So I have had this thing to cause the Jeep to run rough before, so I'm hopeful that my new map sensor will fix my issue. So we're going to be putting that on. I'm going to take this off, and I've noticed it looks like my wires have been, I don't know, spliced into. The map sensor that I got actually came with another plug, and I may just go ahead and change that plug out while I'm doing this to make sure that I get some good wires in here that's not grounding on each other. So that there is some issues with this, and it does need to be changed, and that's what we're going to be doing. So let me get my tools and we'll pop this thing out. Yeah, that green wire has got the coating off of it. The orange wire down here, the coating is off of it. I see some damage. Yeah, this thing has been, looks like it's been ate up pretty bad. So this is still saturated inside the housing, inside the plug. Let me get that out and we'll take a closer look. Alright guys, this has got two Torx bits down here. It's got one here and one here, one here and one here, and from what I can tell it looks like they're a T25. I only have a T20. It fits good enough. I'm going to pop it out with a T20, but the actual size I believe is a T25. Alright guys, I don't know if y'all can see that. I hope you can. The plug has got power steering fluid pooled up inside it. Man, it is wet. Even the bolts I took out was saturated with power steering fluid. So I still was, before I changed that sensor out on the power steering pump because it was leaking, I still had fluid getting back there on this. I'm pretty confident this needed to be changed, and this makes me hopeful that that's maybe my hard to start problem. So I'm gonna get this changed out now. I'm gonna look at this plug and these wires and see. I'm gonna take off this electrical tape and see what's under it and see what they have done, and if I need to indeed change these wires, and I will change this plug if I have to. So I have evaluated the situation. Big bare spot right there, bare spot right there. And the broke spot on that one. You can see the wire right there. I'm just going to cut all these right here, and I'm going to put a new plug on it. I'm going to solder it, heat shrink it, so I'll come back when I get that done. Alright, got my wires soldered up and heat shrinked on with this. This heat shrink here is sealed with the glue. So as you heat it up, it melts and it glues it together. So it's heat shrink and it's watertight. So that's much better. This is looking much better. So now I'm ready to put the new one on, and we'll see what we got. All right, got it put in. I'm gonna fire it up, see if it'll crank and start. Started just like it was supposed to. All right, it fired off and started just like it's supposed to. So I'll come back in 1 week and give you my results. It has been exactly 1 week and 1 day. And I can say that the map sensor did not fix JJ. But JJ is fixed. I did fix the quirkiness, and here's how that went down. Put the map sensor on, testing it, seemed like everything was going well, but you won't know for a few days, and it got to acting up again. I thought, well, that wasn't it. Went over to my daughter's house that she is renovating for when her and her fiance gets married, and got ready to leave from helping her over there, and JJ would not start. Cranked and cranked and cranked and would not start. Told my wife, I said, this new map sensor has just went bad, and I've got to go get the old one. So JJ now has the old map sensor back on him. I put the old map sensor back on him, and he still would not start. I cranked and I cranked and I cranked. Map sensor was not the problem. So then I didn't really know what to do. Wasn't throwing the engine code on the dash, but I put my code scanner on it, and lo and behold, there was a code there, and I believe it was P0320. And said something about distance or distributor or something, speed. Anyway, I didn't know what it meant. I googled it, and they said crank position sensor. I've already changed the crank position sensor on this thing, but the reason I did is because sometimes going down the road it would shut off and start right back up, and sometimes when it done it, all my gauges would go to 0 and then they'd come back, symptoms of like a crank position sensor. So I climbed under JJ and I tapped on it a little bit and tried to crank and start the engine. Would not crank and start. And one guy on there said it's either the crank position sensor or the wires going to it. So I reached under the hood and touched the wires going to the crank position sensor, just lifted up on them, and I heard like actuators and stuff start moving. I let them go and they stopped. I picked them up and they started again. Told my wife, I said, jump in the Jeep and try to start it. She did, and it fired right off. So ended up getting JJ home that night, and I looked, and on the harness side, I didn't get this on video because it was dark and I needed to go to work the next day in JJ, but not on the crank position side of the plug, but on the Jeep side of the wiring harness, the first 1.5 inches of all 3 crank position sensor wires was no insulation on them at all. They was bare wire, and they was even twisted together. They was touching. I don't know how JJ has ran any. I've had this problem ever since I've had JJ, and that was what was wrong. That was the quirkiness. He has never started so fast ever since I've had him. It runs beautifully. It has never ran so good. And so I did get my quirkiness fixed on JJ, and it was a bad spot in my wiring harness, about 1.5 inches of it. For right now, I separated all the wires and I taped them up, got them where they're not touching. And the next time I'm at the salvage yard, I believe at XJ's got the same crank position sensor plug. I'm going to cut one off of it and I'll put a new plug on that. But right now it's going, and it's going well. Works beautifully. I'm so tickled that I've got the quirkiness fixed, because I was afraid to go off anywhere in it, because I didn't know at what point in time it'd leave me sitting, just like it did at my daughter's house the other night. It left me sitting there, but luckily it got me to where I was going. And now that I've got this fixed, I'm not afraid to drive it to the Jeep Jamboree up at Pigeon Forge, Tennessee this August. I'm probably going to head up that way. I'm going to take JJ. I'll have to clean him up. He's filthy right now. Take him up there with me and do that. I got a problem fixed that, man, I've been wanting to get fixed for a long time, and it's finally, I'm 100% confident that it's fixed. I've drove it for the biggest part of a week, and man, it is flawless. I don't have to turn the key on and wait till my odometer lights up anymore like I used to have to do. If I used to not wait, my airbag light would come on and stay on. All of that's gone. Everything is fixed. So it has fixed all the little problems that I knew JJ had. And now it's just a pleasure to drive. It's even seems like I got more power. So it got rid of that little hesitation going down the road. Everything is a million times better. So just a heads up, guys, next week I'm going to be installing. My phone ordered a part for me that I did not order. I got to sweating and my phone lit up in my pocket and went through a bunch of apps. Got on eBay where I had been looking, and it ordered me a tilt steering column. And so next week I'm putting a tilt steering column in on JJ. I didn't order it on purpose, but it did get ordered. So I'm going to put a tilt steering wheel column in a non-tilt steering wheel Jeep. So if y'all interested in that, y'all come back next week, and that's what we're going to be doing. Thank y'all for watching. See y'all then.